Greetings, everybody. Dave DeWalt here. I'm the founder and CEO of NightDragon, and we're coming to you live from the RSA Cybersecurity Conference in beautiful San Francisco. This is the largest cybersecurity conference of the year, and this year, 2024, is the largest RSA event they've ever had. And this is my 20th one here, so sometimes I love watching this whole cybersecurity community grow, and it's such an honor to be a part of it. And just want to say what fun I get to have, because here with my partner NASDAQ, I get to interview the hottest cybersecurity companies, founders, and CEOs, which is a great honor for me to get a chance to do it. My special guest today is Andrew Rubin, who is the founder and CEO of Illumio. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Andrew. It's great to know you for so long. Tell everybody a little bit about Illumio and what the company does for the audience, if you would.
First, thanks for having me.
Definitely.
It is the beginning of a long 4 days for those of us that are here. I think 45,000 was the number I heard this morning.
45,000.
45,000. And thanks for the introduction, the kind words. So in simple speak, Illumio is a zero trust segmentation company. Now, for those of the folks out there that don't know what zero trust segmentation means, it's actually very simple. We take an organization's infrastructure, the servers that they run their applications on, the databases that they store their customer data on, the laptops that their employees use, and segmentation basically divides them up into compartments and pods so that if one compartment gets sick, it's harder for it to infect everything else. And given what's going on in today's world, we've all seen the effects of one tiny problem spreading very quickly into a catastrophic outcome. So segmentation is designed to prevent that catastrophic outcome.
And let's talk about that, because over the last 4, 5, 7 years, we've watched this plague of ransomware.
Yes.
And everybody has seen it. It's really created the most damage we maybe have ever seen in the industry of cyber. And a lot of it, at the root of it, is these lateral movements that these attackers can get, take hold of the whole company. What is ransomware, and how do you solve ransomware through the segmentation? Maybe talk about that for a second.
It's amazing, because I think ransomware was actually the first type of attack that we ever saw where everybody immediately understood the impact of something spreading. It's indiscriminate. It'll go after a school or a hospital as quickly as a bank or a government. It will land anywhere that it can find a home. And as you said, once it finds that first home, its job in a lot of ways is to spread as quickly as it possibly can. Segmentation, by definition, is designed to stop the spread. It may not solve the problem that we're all facing every day, which is how do we prevent these things in the first place? But as we know, cybersecurity is no longer a game of perfection. It's no longer a game of, can we stay safe all the time? We have two jobs. One is to stay safe as often and as much as possible. And the second job is, when we miss, to prevent a small incident from becoming a catastrophe. Segmentation is designed to simply stop the spread of things that don't belong inside of the environment. Ransomware, because of its design, because of its desire to spread, is the first time that everybody now really understands that if one machine, one server, one laptop gets sick, that's a problem. But when that one turns into 1,000 or 100,000, that's not the same problem. That's a much bigger one. Our job is to try and prevent that from happening.
I can't agree more. Most organizations think they have, well, I air-gapped this or I segmented that, and they think they've done it. But the reality is, the way software works, the way these enterprises work, the way remote workers now work, segmentation is a much bigger, complex problem than most people realize. And you've really tried to make that simpler to do and easier to deploy, right?
Without a doubt. And simplicity and ease of deployment has to be part of the story. These are tough, complicated problems. Trying to bring something to an organization that they can deploy not in a year or two, but in a month or two, in a week or two. It has to be something that can get implemented and run and operationalized. It can't just be a good security control that's impossible to work with. There's also another thing, and you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. We talk about it. You've given me advice on it.
I'm a lot younger, though.
Yeah, absolutely. You've just been doing it longer. But there's something that I remember you giving me advice when Illumio was I'll say, a baby, which is, in a lot of ways, the enemy of the good plan is always the perfect plan. A big part of the cyber mindset is simply accepting that we're going to have to do things that don't eliminate risk, that don't make us safe 100% of the time. We have to go in and we have to explain to an organization and help them to realize you can be safer even if you're not perfectly safe. You can reduce risk even if it doesn't go to zero. And I think segmentation in a lot of ways was something that people thought about for a long time, but they didn't really understand the value of it. And in a lot of ways, ransomware is what moved it all the way up the priority list.
So you're in one of the hottest markets, solving one of the biggest problems. Let's talk about where Illumio is in its journey as well. When was the company founded, and how many employees are you? How much capital have you raised, as much as you can tell us?
All right, so January of 2013, that one I remember, $582.5 million of capital on the primary balance sheet. So that's the funds that we've raised to build the company. I'm thrilled to be able to say at RSA this year that we have no plans to raise capital again. That's a special thing to be able to say. You've given me a lot of advice on that one over the years too. We're a team of over 600 globally. That one I can't give you the exact number, but I know it's over 600 globally.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
From 0 to 600, you raised almost 600 million
Yeah.
as well, and you've come such a long way. We're here on NASDAQ. I mean, what do you see the company's future being? Do you want to go public? Do you want to, what do you see yourself doing here as your company goes forward?
Yeah, it's a question that obviously comes up from just about every constituency, which is when are you going to go public?
Right.
That's really the way that it gets
Don't
asked.
answer that specific part, but just generally.
Actually, I'll tell you and everybody watching what I say to the Illumio team, which is I think that's the wrong question to ask. I think the right question to ask is, are you building a sustainable, durable company that can operate as a public company? The milestone is enormous, and we're starting to see a few of them happen again, which is obviously encouraging. But the IPO is a day. It's a moment in time. It's a really important milestone for the team. But the next morning you get up and you're the same company that you were the day before that has to produce great product, in our case, help to protect our customers, make your partners successful, and you got to build. And of course, you're doing it with a very, very bright spotlight on you for the first time. So the question that I always ask back is, when will we be ready to operate as a public company? And there's a lot of people going to work every day working on that exact task.
Music to my ears hearing that, by the way, Andrew, because for a guy who's taken several companies public, it's not the finish line, it's the starting line in a lot of ways, and building an enduring company. And you said the words really well, right? What do shareholders want? Growth, responsible, profitability, and really manage a company for the long haul, not the short haul as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Rubin, the founder and CEO of Illumio, solving one of the biggest problems we're facing in cyber: ransomware, segmentation, zero trust. Keep an eye on Illumio. Thank you for coming on the show,
Thanks
Andrew.
for having me.
Appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you.